Good morning, everybody. It's January 14th, 2020, Ray Horvath Productions. And I'm, of course, out in the middle of the Doniana Mountains in one of the key arroyos. And I am going to do the 1,700 mile review on the 2019 Honda Talon 1000R. Taking into account everything I've done to it, I've had a lot of fun. Before I get into the aspects of the review, I want to welcome everybody to the channel that's recently joined. I really appreciate the views, the shares, and the subscribes. Kind of a big day coming up for me tomorrow. I'm going to hit the big 50 on my birthday. So kind of not looking forward to that, clearing another decade. But what can you do? Can't stop the clock, huh? All right, so I'm going to get into some of the specifics of this. One thing I'm going to cover today is the i4-wheel drive system. I've been getting a lot of emails and questions regarding the i4-wheel drive and how it compares to a normal diff lock. So I'm going to touch on that really quick, and then I'll touch on a couple of other subjects. First of all, the i4-wheel drive compared to a conventional diff lock, I'm actually highly impressed. I've had some reports from previous or not previous, but current Talon owners that have told me in the sand and in loose terrain, gravel, things of that nature, that the i4-wheel drive was kind of getting confused, and you could see some slippage where it was kind of jumping back and forth between the tires. I haven't experienced that. Now, I've had this in loose gravel, sand, different terrain, where it's really slippy and really loose, and I think it grips even better. In my opinion, it somehow it kind of knows what to do. But I've been able to climb things in the Talon that I could not climb in my previous machine, and I don't know if it's attributed entirely to the i4-wheel drive, or the fact that maybe I'm just getting more tenured as a driver and I'm taking a few more risks, perhaps a combination. But one of the things I want to point out on the i4-wheel drive compared to the diff lock is on the i4-wheel drive, you get almost no stiff feedback from when you're in four-wheel drive. And I've had this thing cranked going down the dirt arroyos here, you know, 40 miles an hour hitting the whoops, and you just hit those ruts and kind of pick your line and turn the wheel, and it just kind of pulls you in. Whereas when I'm climbing, you don't really feel that it's in four-wheel drive. It's kind of hard to explain. But on my previous machine, when I had the diff lock on to climb some of the steep terrain that I've showed in my previous videos, you can really feel a difference on the steering wheel. You can feel that there's definitely, the diff is locked, it's tense. Those of you that own machines with diff locks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just don't get that sensation, or at least I haven't so far, on the Talon with the i4-wheel drive system. So I think it's pretty impressive. It climbs extremely well. I've never experienced the slippage, but that's to answer the questions for those of you that were asking about that. The second thing I'd like to touch on, and I'm just going to touch on it briefly, the S&B particle separator. Now, I'm not going to reveal everything in this video right away, but I've been very pleased with the way this thing has performed. I've actually pulled out the air cleaner to have a peek. Keep in mind, when I had this installed, I put a brand new air filter in there, clean, and now I've come from that last stage and up to 1,700 miles. So without doing the math in my head, you know, I've put a ton of miles on this, even more so than I did on the other filters. And I'll tell you, it's without revealing everything, and in my next video I'll show you the filter, because it's getting ready to go in to have service done anyway. It's actually quite surprising. So if some of you are looking at investing in the S&B particle separator, I can tell you from experience and the mileage, it is definitely worth the money. It does its job. It's a really solid piece of engineering. It's kind of expensive upfront cost, but you're going to get the compensation back. You'll recoup it in filters and saving on those, because they are quite expensive. I think they came down to like $48 now on Amazon. I saw them, but nevertheless, $48 a pop. I can think of a lot of other things I can do with that. But I'll show that in my next video. I wanted to touch on the i4-wheel drive this time. Still have not put the bumper on here. I actually have it on order now. The holidays kind of set me back, and I apologize for not putting out a video sooner. Holiday season's busy for all of us, but I think what I'm gonna do, or what I went with, right, really, is the Honda Racing one. So let me come around here. This is the aluminum, made by Honda Racing. I'll throw a link to where the rear one is as well down in the description below. But I'm gonna have the same one put on the back. I figure that way it'll match, and it'll match the Axiom A arm guards that I have there on the bottom. So that's the deal with that. Still have not decided what to do on a winch, or even if I really want one, to be honest. I think I should get one. Not only does it look good, but it's good to have that peace of mind. So I will probably do that, but I haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to do on that. But very happy with the machine. I've had 0 issues. Nothing has gone wrong with this. It's had 1,700 miles on it, just over. It's been solid. It's a solid platform. Honda really did their homework when they threw this machine together and did their R&D. So I praise them for that. And Las Cruces Motorsports has been awesome, giving me information and keeping me up to date with any questions that I may have. I do want to touch on one thing. Since it's January here in the desert Southwest, the mornings are definitely below freezing. We've gotten down into 20s, 19 degrees, and I know that's nothing for some of you in other parts of the world in the States. But one thing I want to touch on with this Super ATV windshield, when you have this thing closed, and once the engine is warm, I have this really neat bubble of warm air that circulates through the cab. So as long as it's not super cold, I can actually come out in cold weather without having to bundle up in an Arctic jacket, and I can still drive comfortably. So if any of you get a windshield, the Super ATV definitely gives you a lot of flexibility. It does keep it a bubble of air warm in there in the winter, as I indicated, so that's a plus there. One thing I want to point out that did kind of irritate me a little bit, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to have to shim the doors up here. You notice these little rubber grommets? I have them, they're adjustable, so you can loosen them to have kind of less give on the door when they close. But I've noticed on the passenger door, I come around here, even if I have it at maximum extension, I'm still getting, it's kind of loose. I don't know if you can hear that, but one other viewer told me something about pulling these off and actually putting another rubber washer on there to kind of shim it. I think I'm going to do that. I haven't really decided, but it looks like he had a good fix. So I don't know if that's just the bouncing around. It wasn't like that, of course, when I got it, but now just the passenger one has a little bit of play in it there. Nothing major. I'm sure I can rectify that pretty simply. But again, just to recap, 1,700 miles, no issues as far as reliability. Four-wheel drive is great, as I indicated. It grips well, corners well. I'm really happy with this machine. Next video, of course, I'll give you the full lowdown on the S&B and show you the filter, how it's done, and how well it's kept it clean. Meanwhile, I'm just enjoying the day. I've got a couple days off now, today and tomorrow being my birthday. Ha ha ha, no bad comments down there. I'm sure somebody's gonna put the old man symbol or something, but hitting the big 5-0. Everybody that's joined again, thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoy making the videos. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so if you can do me a favor and click the like button and hit subscribe, doesn't cost you anything, guys. In my other video on top of the S&B, I'm going to cover briefly a couple of accessories that I got from this here company. and it doesn't show it on this one. Well, there we go. It's called Kemimoto. So I'm actually gonna get the grips up here that go onto the upper roll bar, so you can kind of grip, get in and out, or as some of you call them, the bar. But appreciate the views, everybody. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. Big shout out to one of my subscribers in Alamogordo, New Mexico, Blaine. He called me the other day and asked me for some information about riding in this area, and he and his posse put together a nice video of them climbing around here in the Doniana Mountains, and I'll drop a link to his YouTube video below as well. But thanks, Blaine, I appreciate it. We've got to get together so we can all ride. It sounds like fun now that we're coming into the summer season. I hope everybody has a great day. Happy New Year, good holidays. I hope everything went well. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.